Hey everybody, I hope y'all put your phones down, or better yet, pick them back up. Make sure you are right here with me, your boy, SportsRap CEO, on heat100radio.com, and you know where I'm also live on Instagram at SportsRap CEO. Like I just said, the link is in the bio, so you can tune in. If not, you can get the audio and tune in. All right. If not, you know where you can catch it later on in the week on YouTube. SportsRap TV is where you will find that. So listen, I got some stuff to talk to y'all about today. And believe it or not, it's a little bit funny for me, some of it, and some of it is not so funny, but it's some things, and it's some things that we can think about. So as always, you know what I do, some news and some updates, then I'll get into yesterday's scores, and then we're going to participate and motivate into everything else that we need to get into. All right. But before I get into that, as we know, we are now into February. It's actually February the 3rd. Okay. So it is Black History Month. And you know what we do every year, Black History Month, right here on Sports Rap. You know what we do. We give you sports facts every week. Sometimes it's first African American first in sports, or sometimes it's just some unknown or little known sports facts. So today, starting off the month, I have two firsts. Okay. So in 1958, the first African American hockey player was Willie O'Ree. Somewhat ironically, he played for the Boston Bruins. Go figure. And in 1984, also the first African American Stanley Cup winner was Grant Fuhr as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. All right, so those are your two first year Black History sports moments for this week. And we'll do two every week that we are here. Every Monday that we are here, we'll do two. All right. So news and updates for you guys. All right. Teams have been showing interest in Yabu and Yabu and Eric Gordon. And I've also just caught something before I came live on air that the Warriors have been in contact with the Philadelphia 76ers in talks or questioning about a Paul George trade. Trade deadline is 3 days away. But I got some stuff I'm going to tell y'all about that Sixers team in just a few minutes. Adam Silver is a fan of making quarters 10 minutes instead of their usual 12 minutes, which is contrary to a lot of other players. A lot of other players and other coaches around the league do not wish to go down to that 10 minutes. They like everything right where it is. They've gotten accustomed to it. It works for them. And it would be a little odd, even as fans, to see an NBA game go to 10-minute quarters. All right. Terry Rozier is being investigated for his involvement in an illegal betting probe. Go figure. Kellen Moore has emerged as the lead candidate for the Saints head coaching job. The Sixers brass have put in a request for a WNBA franchise for the city. What do you think, folks? I think it's time. I think we're about due. My ideal situation for that NBA team here is me having Dawn Staley as the head coach. But it would take a lot, I'm sure, to pull her away from where she is right now, being the highest paid uh, women's head coach in the NCAA. So it would take a lot to pull her away from that, I believe. All right. Eagles are the first team ever to make a Super Bowl run without a turnover in the postseason. Kudos to them for that. And on top of that, that amazing defense has forced 10 turnovers, all right, throughout the playoffs. Some funny news. Chip Kelly is set to make his return to the NFL as the new offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders under Pete Carroll. I know a couple Raiders fans haven't had a chance to speak to them about this. Don't even know if they actually know about this yet. But I will. And when I talk to them, I'll get their info, get their take on it, and I'll bring it back and share it because I'm sure it's going to be something to laugh about. All right. And Jimmy Butler has informed the Warriors that he will not sign an extension, which not halted, but it completely stopped those trade talks between the Warriors and the Miami Heat. So, Jimmy Butler's situation, I was planning on talking about that a little bit if I had time. But since I'm here and I'm in it, to me, it's one of those things, right, where you look at this situation and on top of this, before I get into my point of view, Carmelo Anthony gave his insight. And, he said that basically it might have been a little funny from the very beginning, but he says now he's kind of like taking it too far. That's kind of what he feels like. He's taking it too far. I also feel like it's going too far. It's become a mess. And it's something that it didn't need to be. I don't know what goes on sometimes in some of these players' heads when they conjure up these ideas and want to get traded or things of that nature or dislike the situation that they're in and they want to cause a ruckus and not taking into consideration how it affects the entire organization, how it affects their teammates. And not all of these guys have bad relationships with teammates. Some of them have good relationships with teammates. But then it starts to make those good relationships begin to look a little weird, a little awkward. And it makes those players look at that particular player a little different, all right, than they had been looking at that person. So, again, the Jimmy Butler situation, Jay, my guy, always tuned in. Thank you, good brother. So, hey, the Jimmy Butler situation, I don't know how, therefore, when it's actually going to happen with him being traded, if he even does get traded. But I think it would probably be in Miami's best interest to move on from him to continue on with the second half of their season and maybe try to salvage whatever they can of the season. But we'll see. All right. In scores in the National Hockey League yesterday, the Devils and the Sabres. The Sabres take that game 4-3. The Flyers get blanked by the Avalanche 2-0. The Ducks get by the Canadiens 3-2. The Blue Jackets fall to the Stars 5-3. The Golden Knights fall to the Rangers 4-2. The Islanders get doubled up by the Panthers 6-3. The Blues get by the Hockey Club 2-1. The Canucks The Canucks fall to the Red Wings 3-2. And by the same score, 3-2, the Kraken fall to the Flames. In women's college basketball, top 25. Auburn at number 2, South Carolina. Dawn Staley and those Lady Gamecocks hold on 83-66. Number 3, Notre Dame 89, Louisville 71. Butler at number 6, UConn. UConn takes that 101-59. Big scores there. Illinois at number 14, Maryland. Illinois edges them out 66-65. Number 4, USC falls to Iowa 76-69. Number 20, Georgia Tech gets by Miami 77-66. Mississippi State falls to number 7, LSU 81-67. 11, Kansas State 91, Kansas 64. Number 16, Michigan at Northwestern. Michigan State holds on 89-75. Minnesota at number 1, UCLA. UCLA holds on 79-53. Again, shout out to my guy, JC, James Clark, for holding it down out there for that UCLA women's Lady Bruins, holding on to that number 1 spot. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get to see them going up against our hometown favorite, Dawn Staley, in the national title game. A lot of basketball left to play, but we'll see. Keep that in mind, though, okay? Ole Miss at number 23, Vandy. Ole Miss in the upset, 76-61. Number 18, Tennessee gets by Missouri, 76-71. Georgia falls to number 22, Alabama, 72-57. Number 15, UNC, 69. Stanford, 67. Number 9, TCU gets by Iowa State, 82-69. Kentucky, 95, gets by number 13, Oklahoma, 95-86. Pitt falls to number 18, Cal, 84-53. Number 8, Ohio State holds on by 10 and takes that game over Washington at 66-56. Number 5, Texas blows out Texas A&M 70-50. And Wake Forest at number 25, Florida State. Florida State holds on 97-68. In men's basketball, top 25, Ohio State at number 18, Illinois. Illinois holds on 87-79. Memphis, number 19, at Rice. Just get by in a tight one. Memphis 86, Rice 83. And Nebraska at number 16, Oregon. In the upset, Nebraska holds on 77-71. In the NBA, Bulls and the Pistons. The Pistons take that 127-119. The Cavs, following the trade, and you know we're going to talk about the trade in just a few minutes. The Cavs, 144 to the 101 over the Mavericks. The Clippers fall to the Raptors, 115-108. The Celtics, in a comeback, beat the Sixers in South Philly, 118-110. We can talk about that game too. And the Grizzlies and the Bucks fall, 132-119. So, there we have it. Those are our scores. Thank Coach Rich. Thanks for tuning in again as well, as always. So, you know where I'm going. I'm going to talk the trades, of course. I'm going to talk the trade. And we know the biggest trade that we've heard so far was the Luka Doncic trade for Anthony Davis. And that trade was one that kind of snuck on us. I mean, they did it happened while most of us were sleeping. And I woke up to that trade, and it was a shocker. You know, I had to check all my resources early a.m. Like, I get up at like 5:35 in the morning, so I had to check all my resources and check to make sure I heard what I heard. I wasn't still sleeping, dreaming, but lo and behold, it was what it was. But before I get to that, I just told you the Sixers fell to the Celtics 118-110 yesterday. If anyone else watched any of that game, it was disappointing, heartbreaking, upsetting. I'm going to stop there for now. Because we were at one point up 26. We were in control of that game through 3 quarters. Okay, 3 quarters, give or take maybe 3-4 minutes remaining in that third quarter. We were in total control of that game. I understand Maxey was doing his thing. As we say, he was cooking. He got in a little foul trouble, so his rest had to be a little extended. Okay? When he was rested, I won't say it imploded, but things changed. And then there was a rush to put Maxey back into the game. And then the Celtics did what teams would have done, what I would have done in that situation if I was coaching. They started to blitz Maxey, get the ball out of his hands as much as they possibly could. They started making shots. But the problem for me was when Maxey went out of the game, along with his scoring and his playmaking, it looked like a lot of the guys that did get out there and play and that were playing in the minutes that he rested were like confused about what they could do. Like I said, with Maxey's playmaking and scoring, it looked like they were lost without Maxey on the floor being the playmaker. They were feeding off of Maxey, scoring and being the playmaker. But once he was out, it seemed like they got lost. Let's see. Let's see if we can bring Coach Rich in on his Instagram. And the game got away from him very, very quickly, if you will. And I mean, of course, you're playing the world champs, right? Hey, Coach Rich, good afternoon, good brother. Yes, sir. And again, the game got away from those guys. Like I said, Maxi's playmaking had them comfortable. When he had to go out and rest, it was like the guys were lost at that point. Like they were lost or confused and didn't understand or couldn't understand what they were supposed to do. Like I said, me as a former coach, I would have done the same thing that Boston did. They started to, like I said, they started to blitz Maxey and get the ball out of his hands. They played a lot of denial, and then they got up and got real physical with it. All right, a little bit of out of hand on some of the plays, I will admit that, but they got physical with him. They got under his skin a little bit. All right, but this is basketball. This is what they do. They won the championship. They're the defending champs, so they have that championship pedigree. And that's what championship teams do. All right. Now, funny thing about yesterday's game and some news I heard before I came on air today was the fact that, give me 1 second. All right. Was the fact that we had a bunch of players not playing due to injuries or something, some nature. Some reason they were not playing. From a reliable source, I saw on social media before I came in today that everyone that was not in uniform, not playing yesterday, was at practice and participated in practice today. Sixers play again tomorrow at home against the Mavs. Now, we know the situation with the trade. I'm not 100% sure how fast AD will join, and the moving parts, how fast they will join and play. But when you look at things on the surface, considering the trade, it looks like this is a game that the Sixers could steal to get right back on track. I mean, if you think about it, in their last 6, they were 4-2. Okay, they were 4-2 in their last 6 games. They're making a push. They're making a run. They are beginning to look like they're making a turn. And it reminds me of the things I said about Joel Embiid way back when we talked about Maxey checking him in practice in the locker room and the team meeting things and nature. And what I said was maybe he can see some of this and miss it and see what's going on, see how these guys are playing their hearts out, giving it their all, and miss it and want to get back in it. So maybe again, after yesterday's game, using it as a learning tool, somewhat of a punch in the gut. Like I said, because of the way that game was, for 3 quarters, if you will, totally in control of the game, well shorthanded, all right? Well shorthanded, but very much in control of that game for 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, championship team did what they did. They started making shots. They intensified on the defensive end. We know what happened. They ended up winning the game by 8 points. But I think what I saw today when I saw that all of those guys were at practice, I look at that entire game and I think about using things as a learning piece, as a tool. I think it kind of touches on things that I said about Joel Embiid earlier in that situation, where these guys see that the guys that are playing are giving it their all. They're not tanking. They're not hot dogging it. They're out there competing. Okay, so what are they thinking? And my thought process is, if I'm one of them, I'm thinking, if they're giving us this now, and this is what we're seeing, 4-2 in the last 6, in control of that game yesterday against the world champs after you already beat them on Christmas. If I'm one of those players that didn't play, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, well, this is going on now. Imagine what I can do if I can get back in and help. Things could go that much further. Things could get that much better. But these guys got to get on the court, and they've got to stay healthy. I mean, we're getting into trade deadline 3 days away on the 6th. We'll soon after that be moving into the All-Star break, where these guys can get some more rest after they've got enough rest already. They can get more rest. And get back into it. Like Maxey was snubbed on the All-Star team. I wanted to talk about that a little bit too. Snubbed on from the All-Star team, even as a reserve. Of course, he probably wouldn't have been a starter, but as a reserve, he was snubbed. And I totally disagree with that. But him being snubbed, that means they won't be at the All-Star game. If I'm some of these guys or one or two of these guys that are leaders on the team like Maxey, and these guys have practiced today, I'm telling these guys, listen, let's hang around a little bit. We can get in the facility. Let's hang around a little bit and try to get some cohesion, try to get ourselves in a little rhythm with each other. So when we do get back to playing after the All-Star break, we can go on a little run and turn some heads again, or turn some heads a little bit more. But we'll see what happens. Again, like I said, it looks like they're giving us the impression that they are tired of the chatter. They are looking like they want to turn this thing around. And again, like I said, it just reiterates that when I saw what I saw, that all of those guys that were not in uniform yesterday, haven't been in uniform for the last few games, were all participants at practice today, which is a great sign. But again, with our situation being what it is, what does that really mean for us? I told you what I think it means. But what does it really mean for us as a franchise, as a fan base? What does that really mean? They practice, okay. We need to see them in a game. Practice doesn't really mean anything to us. And some people may say, "Oh, well, the practice," and we're not talking the same situation with the AI thing in practice. We talk about that. No, understand my point. The expectations where they were for the season, and then look at how things went. And now you see it looks like it could begin to be a little turnaround, and we're still not healthy. And I said this too. I said, what if, and this was not with all, this was just with a couple injuries. And I said this, I said, what if by some chance something happens, the light switch finally clicks on, this team begins to fight, get scrappy, play a little bit better, then get healthy going into coming out of the All-Star break. What could happen? And I said, the play-in tournament is their saving grace. Right now, they're one game out of the play-in tournament. So for right now, the play-in tournament is their saving grace. And I'm not saying lower your standards, say, look, we can just get in the play-in tournament. No. I'm saying use that as your saving grace. But come out, Carl went to practice, come out, get this thing together, and compete healthy. Get healthy first. Then come out and compete and see what happens. I think they have the roster that can make some noise. It just has to get healthy and get some cohesion amongst the moving parts. It's a lot of moving parts that have to come together, and it's just been extremely tough for these parts to come together this year. Strange. So again, I don't know what's going to happen with them come the trade deadline. I haven't heard a lot of news or chatter about them. Like I said, I told you about the interest some teams have had in certain players. Told you about the call from the Warriors about the Paul George thing. But I don't know. Just me and my fandom, my thought process. At this point, I don't do a move unless it absolutely makes me better. If it absolutely is a no-brainer, hands down, makes me better than what I am today. If not, I kind of might hold on to what I have and bring it back healthy if I can have it healthy at the start of the season. And what that will look like for me as a front office, as a coaching staff, would be you guys that were banged up, go easy and do some rehab. I understand after the season, you're going to take a little break, but focus on your rehab. All right. You can get to playing once you get back into the season and once you get into training camp. You can get that. All right. You can definitely get into shape. Well, not into shape, but you can definitely get into a basketball rhythm in training camp and cohesion with your teammates and all of that. But the injuries, the nagging injury, I need you guys to get healthy and get through those injuries. So do that rehab on those injuries and then come in and we can focus all together healthy on basketball and progressing like we do. James Jr., hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Is that my guy, Rouse? I think that is Rouse. Rouse, what's going on, good brother? So, some NBA trades, right? We know about the big one. Okay, so let's talk there. Let's start there. The other night, overnight, a lot of people woke up to the trade. Los Angeles Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks. Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first round pick going to the Mavericks. In exchange, going to the Lakers is Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris. Time, what's going on, good brother? Let's see here. See if we can bring you in. So, that trade was a shocker. Surprise to everyone. All the people that woke up to that trade, me included, it was very, very strange. No one seemed to understand it. But then later on, as things came out, and of course, I know some people that put out some stuff that are in touch with the scene. It's spoken about that there was an issue, and I had an article when I read it. There was an issue amongst the Mavericks with Luka's conditioning and the fact that he was up for a $545 million supermax contract. They did not really want to play due to his conditioning and his lack of defensive prowess, if you will. So they made the trade. I still don't fully get it. One of the things I said very early when I talked to people about the trade was one of the things it will do is now it will allow LeBron to play a lot more off the ball and possibly be a lot more aggressive. It's going to be hard to try and blitz there because of the offensive prowess of Luka and LeBron and both of their sizes. You're talking LeBron 6'8", the Luka 6'7". So the size is there, the offensive skill is there. Again, I still, like I said, that's what I think of immediately. That's my first thought process of what it would do for the Lakers. For the Mavericks, it could allow Kyrie to have a lot more freedom. But the rest of that roster was after Kyrie and Anthony Davis is a little questionable. On the other side, with the Lakers, they have some young pieces there that can look to participate, that will look to benefit from playing with the two, that combination of Luka and LeBron James. So we'll see what happens in that trade. Another trade between the Utah Jazz and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Jazz received P.J. Tucker, Mo Bamba, a future second-round pick in cash, and the Clippers recoup Drew Eubanks and Patty Mills. I kind of think that was a situation where P.J. Tucker wanted out of L.A., and then the other pieces were there to make the money match. Drew Eubanks, Patty Mills to the Clippers. I mean, yeah, Jay, they both are ball dominant. They definitely are. But I think LeBron would have the easiest time in the transition of playing off the ball than Luka would. But yes, you're absolutely right. They both are pretty ball dominant. But when I said that, I just meant, that's what I meant. I meant that LeBron, I feel like, could transition into playing off the ball a little bit easier than Luka. And I think that's another reason why we were struggling with seeing what could happen with him and Kyrie. Again, two players that are both ball dominant. So, we'll see what happens. Again, but getting back to this, I think PJ Tucker just wanted out. The Jazz are not that good. So I'm guessing that he may look for a buyout from the Jazz. Another 3-team trade, the Spurs, the Kings, and the Bulls, which was considered another big one. De'Aaron Fox from the Kings to the Spurs with Jordan McLaughlin. Mixed in with this, the Kings get Zach LaVine, Sidi Sissoko, 3 first-round picks, 1 in 25, 1 in 27, and 1 in 31. And then the Bulls get Zach Collins, T. Jones, Kevin Huerter, their own 25 first round from the Spurs. Right. Well, they have Jackson Hayes. So, and this is my guy, Jake Blair. He said, who's going to protect the rim now for the Lakers? It's going to have to start with Jackson Hayes. They got a lot of shooters. If that's what if nothing else, they got a lot of shooters. But that's a great question. But I think it's going to have to start with Jackson Hayes. After that or beyond that, I'm not really sure of the makeup of that roster. But I think it will start with Jackson Hayes, and they'll have to probably fill it in. You may even see some now that they have Luka. You may even see some small ball with Bron playing at 5, depending on matchups or situations. So we'll see. All right. So when I talked to you earlier about the Jimmy Butler situation, I saw one trade, a proposed mock trade for Jimmy Butler. So this was 14. All right. It's the Suns, the Heat, the Bulls, and the Lakers. So in this trade, all right, the Suns would get Jimmy Butler and Gabe Vincent. The Heat would have gotten Zach LaVine, Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood. The Bulls, Bradley Beal, Cam Reddish, a 25 first in cash. The Lakers would have gotten Yusuf Nurkic, a 26 and a 25 and a 26 first. All right. So D Lucas 109, thanks for tuning in as well. So this trade is 14. I think one of the things that will stop this is the situation with Bradley Beal and how he initially kind of hinted that he would be willing to drop that no trade clause, then backtracked on that, then reneged on it, if you will, and said, I don't think I'm going to do that. So we still have some time. We'll still see what goes on. As I'm sitting here with you guys, I've got my info on. I haven't seen anything come across my ticker yet today. So like I said, I'll definitely be in tune with what's going on with all the trades, and I'll report to you as I get them. So continuing on with this, I also saw three mock trades or proposed trades that could possibly work some things for the Sixers. I don't know how I feel about all of them, but number one, a 3-team. Okay, and this could possibly be what the Warriors might have been talking about. Twine time, Mr. Terrell, thanks for tuning in, good brother. I appreciate the support. The Sixers, the Warriors, and the Heat. All right, folks. So the Sixers would get Jimmy Butler back. The Warriors would get Paul George, Josh Richardson, and a 26 first. The Heat would get Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, Buddy Hield, and Jonathan Kuminga. Sixers just giving up Paul George after the huge free agent signing seems a little odd to me. Seems a little weird to me to do it that fast. Again, like I said in the beginning, this is not a trade. Considering where we are right now, and this is what I'm taking into consideration. For me, this particular trade proposal does not make me immediately any better than I am right now, in my opinion. And I mean, you only lose Paul George, which is fine, and you get Jimmy Butler. But again, okay, you can argue Jimmy Butler might be able to play right away. Paul George has been injured. Okay, so then you could also argue as a rebuttal that, on the Paul George side of things, is your rebuttal could be, oh, well, the jury can still be out because we haven't seen it. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Those could be the arguments. That could be the conversation. So again, for me, I don't know how I feel about this one because again, I said I don't feel like it makes us immediately better. The second one, another 3-team, and I think anything the Sixers do, they're going to have to be involved in the 3-team from where they are as far as salaries. Okay. So number 2, Sixers, Lakers, and the Pelicans. The Sixers would get Brandon Ingram. The Lakers would get Caleb Martin, Eric Gordon, and Andre Drummond. The Pelicans would get Gabe Vincent, Kelly Oubre, KJ Martin, Cam Reddish, Reggie Jackson, and a 29 first. Again, all you get in that mix is Brandon Ingram. You lose your backup center in Andre Drummond. You lose Caleb Martin, who has played well when he's been healthy. You lose Eric Gordon, who's played well when he's been healthy. KJ Martin's been up and down altogether. Then you lose Kelly Oubre. I don't like this because, again, it doesn't make us immediately better, in my opinion. The third one, I'm not doing this at all because this is not, no. Sixers and the Clippers, just a 2-team. Sixers will get Norman Powell, and we would give up Caleb Martin, KJ Martin, Eric Gordon, and the 28th first. Norman Powell, to me, is not worth that much. That trade, that third one, definitely a no. Third one, definitely a no. Would not do that at all. Not at all. And the other two, like I said, sounds good. The first one, if I had to put them in order, like if I had to pick the best, going from the worst to the best, they would be in the same order. In reverse order, 3, 2, 1. The first one would probably be the best. The second one, iffy. The third one, no chance. No chance at all for the third one. All right. So that's the trades. Again, I'll keep you all posted on what I hear, what I see, and all of that good jazz. All right. All-star selections have been selected. We know the starters pool for the East: Jalen Brunson, Giannis, Carl Anthony Towns, Donovan Mitchell, and Jason Tatum. Starters for the West: Steph, SGA, KD, LeBron, and Joker. Staying there for the reserves to go back on the West: Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, James Harden, Jaren Jackson Jr., Alperen Sengun, Jalen Williams, and Victor Wembanyama. On the East, the reserves: Jaylen Brown, Pascal Siakam, Darius Garland, Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Dame Lillard, Tyler Hero. Some snubs: Tyrese Maxey, of course, Devin Booker, Sabonis, LaMelo Ball, Kyrie Irving, Trae Young, Norman Powell. So for me, two snubs I think should be in there somewhere. Of course, Devin Booker, but of course, Tyrese Maxey. I feel like even though they're a higher seed right now, what he's done, from what I've seen, I think I would replace Tyrese Maxey with Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero with Tyrese Maxey. It's just me. It's not because I'm biased. It's from what I've seen. Look at what he did yesterday against the world champs. Haven't seen anything like that from Tyler Hero all season long. Not that Tyler Hero hasn't been playing well, but I don't think he's been playing as well to outshine Maxey as an all-star. But it is what it is. I have no vote in that, so it is what it is. All right? And that's that. So, that being said, we know what's going on. You see my background behind me. You see my backdrop. I'm split between my 76ers and my Eagles right now. So my Sixers are right now strong. But of course, I have my Birds to fall back on. And once again, next Sunday, Birds, Chiefs, Super Bowl 59. Who you with? All right, you know who I'm with. I'm with the Birds. Again, I feel different. I felt different when they won it with Nick Foles in 2017, but this is a different. That 2-6 factor is added in. And A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and my QB1. All right? And again, I think this team has a chip on their shoulder. They have a sour taste in their mouth. And I saw some stuff. I've read some stuff before I came in, as I always do. So the Dallas guy that Jordan Mailata was spoken to, and they talked about having that taste. You know, when you get there and you don't win it, and putting all things aside, as we as fans talked about the missed calls and all that kind of stuff. We talked about all of that, all right? But none of that means anything. Again, I feel like the Eagles have to go into this game in the mind frame like I talked about going into that Cincinnati game way back earlier in the season, when people were like, "Oh, that's not a game that they might not win that. It might be a trap game, yada yada yada." I said, but if they go in there with the mind frame that we need to go take this game from the very start, which they did, I think that will happen. Mikey, thanks for tuning in as always. I appreciate you. So I feel different this time. And again, like I said, that Saquon, that 2-6 factor is important for us. I think it's important because now the blitz happy Spagnola has to be a little bit more concise and a little bit more strategic with his blitzes. And then also, you're also playing against a running quarterback too. Okay. And you're also playing against a running back who can dominate a game, who is also pretty good at blitz protection when he needs to be. All right. I think the Eagles defense is going to have to set the tone early against Mahomes. Somebody asked me, if I thought that they would use a spy. I don't really think it will be like to the full extent of what we think of a spy. And I say that because I feel like they will try to contain him. But I also think that when he does get out of the pocket, if he does decide to run, they need to punish him. And when they can get hits on him, they need to hit him. When they put pressure on him, they've got to get pressure. And you know, that offense is kind of that old West Coast form where they get the ball out quick. I think the Eagles are going to have to use some of that on Sunday as well. But I think that's what the game plan is going to be for the Chiefs, to try and extend drives and have the Eagles defense on for a long time and tire them out. So again, I say if the Eagles make a point and set a tone early with that defense and make them change that thought a little bit, all right, rethink a little bit of how they want to approach it, I think the Eagles will be in good shape. But still, in all, I still feel like the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl game. I'm getting myself ready for another parade. I'm getting myself ready for an exciting Sunday. And I'm getting ready to celebrate my guys getting a ring. Hurts, Smitty, AJ, Dallas, Saquon, the offensive line. A couple of them there have one. Lane, some players have been here that had a ring. But this team deserves it. They look like they want it. They seem focused. Of course, with the situation and with how they switched the Pro Bowl to the week before the Super Bowl. So naturally, now the teams that are in it that have players, teams that end up in the Super Bowl that have players selected for the Pro Bowl, typically sit out the Pro Bowl, which all the Eagles did. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, like, these guys are focused. They know the job. They know the task at hand. They know what needs to be done. And they're focused. And I think they're ready. The last time after the Super Bowl we played the Chiefs, we beat them in the regular season game. So I think in the back of their minds, they know that they're beatable. And I even think going back to that Super Bowl, they felt like they should have won that game. So again, I feel like they think that they are beatable. They think that they can beat this team. They feel like they can beat this team. Again, I also say, I have to say on the offensive side, Kellen Moore has done a magnificent job. I think he has to continue that. See, so I think we need to play more man-to-man Sunday. Chiefs don't have big, deep threats. Yeah, absolutely. And again, like our coverage was, where they limit the yards after catch, you punish those receivers when they catch the ball. All right? Travis Kelce's going to have to get hit. And you might have to play a little man-to-man. Right, because they don't really have a deep threat. Nobody's going to take the top off the defense. They don't. You're absolutely right, Jake. Thanks for adding that in. So, like I say, the team seems focused. Like I feel like they can beat the team. They feel like, again, they have a taste in their mouth that they don't like. I am also, on the other hand, as a fan, I'm tired of this Chiefs situation, and I'm just tired because it's 3P. They're like the greatest thing since sliced bread, yada yada yada, is that and the third. And then you get to talk about, oh well, they're gonna change the rules about Pat Mahomes and his sliding and fake sliding and this and that. The Eagles have to be very careful with that as well. But I'm just tired of the media, the mainstream media, giving this team so much credit. And this particular season, again, I said this last week, this particular season, this Chief team was not the usual strong Chief team that we have seen. They were not the teams that we said, like, oh, you give them this much and the game's over, they're going to come back and win. They struggled a little bit this season. They were up and down all season long. Okay. Up and down. Now, they won some games, and people are going to say, yeah, well, the refs and this and that and the third. All that right now, and again, I'm saying that they struggle, true. But all that right now is non-existent. It's a moot point. So 1-game season right now for all the marbles. Both teams have been there before. One team has just been on the winning side a couple times more than the other. Right? Last time they played, it was a tight game. Again, I could easily say some calls that were missed. But I think now with this team and looking back at that and thinking about that situation before I continue further in that situation, I feel like this team has that in their mind, but in the mind frame of, if we don't let those things happen, so we execute and do what we're supposed to do and play football, play our style of football, they think that they'll be okay. Where I was going earlier is like for the coaching staff and Kellen Moore, you may have to open the whole playbook up, sir. It's for all the marbles. All right. Nick Sirianni, you can't play the analytics too tight, and please do not get too cute. All right. If you have the opportunity to take points, you take the points. If it's a field goal and you got to get the ball back and score again, put your defense out there. Put the trust in your number one defense and Vic Fangio. Get the ball back and get another score. Right? We cannot play around with leaving points on the field in this game. All right. I feel like it's going to be a tight game. I don't feel like it would somewhat surprise me if it's more than 10 points win. I would like to see it more than a 10-point win, but I'm not sure if it's going to be that. And like I said, because of the way that the herky-jerky style of Mahomes, the way he extends plays. So I think, like I said, in some of those plays where he's running around extending plays, not making that scramble, attempting to slide or fake slide, when he's just running around trying to extend the play. If you can get to him, you might have to get to him and lay some wood on him. Let him know that you're here. And let him know that it ain't sweet. And that's what I think they might need to do. So again, I feel like the Eagles will win this game. Let's see. Right. And you can add that in there too, Jay. Not on a bad surface this time. Absolutely. Again, like I said, we can go back. And again, like I said, I feel like the team is using that as motivation to say we're not going to talk what about this and that and whatever, what ifs. We're going to focus on what we need to do, go out, execute, and go out and win the game and win in the Super Bowl. That's where I think their focus is at, and that's where I think their mind frame is at right now. Just the looks on their faces at the pep rally, look on their faces when we saw them boarding the plane earlier over the weekend. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to an exciting game. I'm looking forward to a good time. And I hope you all enjoy. If you're going to the game, if you're going down to New Orleans or just going down just to be in the atmosphere, please be safe down there. Rep your team well and be safe, be mindful, party responsibly. But if you are going to be here in the city, you're going to be home, you're going to be around, you need somewhere to watch the game. The new Lou and Choose will be open. Girl Genius, all right, will be hosting a Super Bowl watch party in collaboration with myself, SportsRap CEO. All right, so Sunday, February 9th, doors open at 5:30, buffet, all the good stuff, and you're gonna see some posts for the rest of the week. All right, but tickets, get your tickets at this link, girl-genius dot Ticketlocity, TICKETLOCITY.com. Again, that's girl-genius.ticketlocity.com. That's where you can get your tickets to get in. And come on out, all right? You'll see the flyers, but just so you know, there'll be food, fun, games, drinks, and all that good stuff. Special drinks, specialty drinks supplied by Lou and Choose and by Girl Genius. And there will also be cigar specials in the cigar lounge at Lou and Choose. So come on out, check out the new scenery at Lou and Choose. Come on, hang out with your boy and his friends, Girl Genius. I tell y'all, my friends always do stuff, and like I said, the benefit is for you. All right, make sure you stay tuned all week for that, for posts and all the information on that, or you can just hit my DM at SportsRap CEO on Instagram, and I will give you all of that information. All right, as well as Heat 100 Radio always has your contact, or always has your connect for some of the hottest shows in and around the town. All right, Funk Flex, the biggest dinner party coming to the City Winery Saturday before the Super Bowl. All right, February 8th, 7:30. You can win tickets right here on Heat 100 Radio, but you got to tune in and learn how. Or you can just go to the box office and get your tickets. All right, ticket includes your event, your entry, and your seating. All right, remember it's the Funk Flex biggest R&B dinner party, but your ticket gets you in and gets you a seat. So you know what that means. All right, the doors open at 6 on that day. That's Saturday, February 8th. Again, win your tickets here with myself, SportsRap CEO on SportsRap Podcast. You can check me on social media, all my spots, everywhere you know where I'm at, and listen to Simply Monica in the Midday Rush that's coming back. Simply Monica 72, Heat 100 Radio, live, all the social medias, and maybe you can win some tickets. But if you don't, get to the box office and get your tickets, all right? Also, remember, I'm here each and every Monday. I'll be here all week. I'll be around all week on social media. And you know how we do. Like I said, you can get in on the Super Bowl party. There'll be more news coming about that. Like I said, if you don't want to wait for it, you can get in my DM and I can get you all that information. And again, the new Lou and Choose. Come on out. Hang out with your boy and my friends. All right. Ladies, it's for you too. Girls just want to watch football as well. It's not for just the fellas. It's for football fans of all ages. Just come on out, have a good time in a fun, safe environment, and enjoy the game and watch the Eagles win another Super Bowl. All right. Closing out Monday schedules. All right. In the NBA tonight, the Hawks and the Pistons, the Wizards and the Hornets, the Rockets and the Knicks, the Bucks and the Thunder, the Spurs and the Grizzlies, the Kings and the Wolves, the Pacers and the Jazz, the Pelicans and the Nuggets, the Magic and the Warriors, the Suns and the Blazers. One game in the NHL, the Senators at the Predators. In men's NCAA basketball, top 25, number 3, Iowa State at number 11, Kansas. And in women's side, number 10, Duke at number 19, NC State. there you have it, folks. Your boy closing out another great episode of the Sports Rap Podcast right here on Heat 100 Radio. Again, you know where to find me all the time, here every Monday, all week, and all throughout on social media at SportsRap CEO on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Facebook, Sports Rap Podcast LLC is the group page. On YouTube, Sports Rap TV is the channel over there. So get over there, like the videos that you like, subscribe to the channel, and then hit the bell so you can be alerted when new content is up. Also get over to that Patreon page, all right? Patreon.com/sportsrap. Join that page, $5 a month. You can get exclusive content. You can get exclusive first run chances on winning tickets. You can get exclusive first run chances, maybe for Sunday, maybe. But you got to join. But we can talk about that. Anyway, just a new update real quick. Myles Garrett requested a trade. So Howie's probably on the phone right now. So I think it's either going to be between Myles Garrett or Max Crosby from the Raiders. And again, the webpage, sportsrapradio.com. Again, see me right back here on Instagram Live next Monday, all week on social media. Make sure you stay tuned for all the info on the watch party and everything else that's going on with Sports Rap, all of my collabos and everything else. And also available for sponsorships, ads. We got ad packages. We got music packages. You're an artist. You want to get your music played. If you are a business, you want to get up here, sit with me, have an interview so we can promote your business. We are available for all of that. Just DM me, message me, and I can get you all that information. Again, another Monday. It's nice outside. If you're getting off work right now, take your time getting home. Enjoy the 50-plus degree weather outside. Be great on purpose. And I will talk to you all week on social media and right back here next Monday in studio. Peace.